Hey guys, it's Lewis from Recycle Bicycle Sales here. If I was to start cycling again, here are the first 5 things that I'd buy for my bike. One of the things that we don't always think about when we're getting into cycling is all the extra things that we need to buy to be able to start cycling. Maybe there's some obvious things like you need a helmet and you might need some clothes to wear as well. But sometimes there's some extra little accessories that just creep up on you and you don't quite expect it. So in today's video, I wanted to give you an idea of 5 of the first things that I'd buy if I was to start cycling again. So the first thing that I'd be buying is some things that I can put into my home workshop so that I can take care of my bike. I know that bikes need to be serviced regularly, and that's okay, every 6 or 12 months or thereabouts, but sometimes there's some maintenance things that you can do at home to prolong the life of the bike and keep it in tip-top working condition. So I've got a couple of little things here that I think are worth considering. The first thing that I would recommend, and if you can, try and buy this while you're buying your bike, would be some chain lubricant. There's so many different brands out there, there's different styles, there's lots of things to think about. I would let the salesperson at the bike shop tell you what you should be doing for the bike that you bought. Chain lubricant is lubricant that you're going to put on your chain, which will help make it last a whole lot longer. If we were to zoom in on the chain of the bicycle, it's got all these links, inner links and outer links, and they're rubbing up against each other as they bend around sections of chain. When metal is rubbing up against metal, it's going to cause some friction, some heat, and that's what's going to wear it out. So if we've got some lubricant in there, that's going to help it last quite a lot longer. But before we apply the lubricant, we want to clean the grease off of it. That's where tools like this come in stock, degreasers. Here we happen to have Bikey Wipes, which is an Australian brand, and they're kind of like baby wipes for your bike. So you've got some that can clean the frame, they can clean all the muck off, all the dead bugs and that sort of thing. We've got rotor wipes, which might not be important unless you have one of the fancy disc brake bikes. And then this red one here are degreaser wipes. So they're going to help clean all the black grease and grit off of the chain before you reapply the lubricant. These ones happen to be the Bikey Wipes, but there's lots of other brands out there that might come in perhaps a spray bottle, a pump bottle, and that can just apply it to the bike a little bit differently. But you'd also want a rag so that you can wipe it off as well. So something to clean the bike and something to re-lubricate the bike. And since we're setting up our home workshop, I'd also recommend having a set of Allen keys so you can tighten up all the common bolts on your bike. And the final one, arguably one of the most important ones, would be a pump. You can get little hand pumps just like this that can pump up the tires. They will do the job and they don't take up much space, so they're pretty cool, but they take quite a while to pump it up, which can get a little bit annoying. So a track pump or a floor pump like this will let you get a whole lot more air per stroke. So that's going to help pump up the tires. It also has a nice gauge here so you can see what tyre pressure you're running before you go out on the bike ride. If you're unsure about what tyre pressure you should be running on your bike, we should have a video further back on our YouTube channel talking about exactly that. And the final thing that I would do is I would get a YouTube account so that you can watch this video, or this video, or this video, or even this one. We have hundreds of YouTube videos on our channel with so many different how-to tips. How to use clip-in pedals, how to degrease the drivetrain on your bike, how to choose the right tyre pressure, all the different topics. We literally have hundreds of videos. If there's anything that you want to see and we haven't done the video already, let us know in the comment section down below and we'll be sure to make one for you. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to quickly mention that YouTube sent us a message recently saying that 94% of people watching these videos haven't subscribed yet. So I just wanted to quickly say that we have tens of thousands of dollars worth of value in these videos and we're giving it all to you for free. So if it is something that you appreciate and you want to help our small business succeed, I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button down below. Anyway, let's get back to the video. The next thing that I buy for my bike is some upgraded tires. A lot of the time when we buy a bike straight off of the showroom floor, it usually comes with some pretty entry-level tires. This is a good thing because it brings the bike into a nice cost-effective area. That is one of the trade-offs though. I tend to say you kind of want to burn through those tires, use them for 6 months or so, however long they tend to last, maybe 12 months if you're not doing too much riding. And then when it is time to upgrade, instead of replacing it with the same $50 tire, if you were to spend a little bit more money, okay, this one happens to be double that at $100, you're going to get a huge performance upgrade, better puncture protection and better rolling resistance. So better in all different ways. So upgrading the tires will be a really big upgrade for your bike. And loosely tied in with that, we move across to the third thing that I would buy for my bike. upgrading to a set of carbon fiber wheels. Admittedly, this is one of the most expensive items on the list that we have here, but it's also going to make the biggest upgrade on your bike, the biggest change. It can make the bike look completely new as well. So some carbon fiber wheels will give you a really big performance upgrade. Again, similarly to tires, when the bike is brand new off the showroom floor, it often comes with some entry level, perhaps aluminium wheels. If we upgrade to the fancy carbon fiber wheels, we get huge performance upgrades. They're a whole lot stiffer and more aerodynamic. So when we're standing up and pedaling to get up a steep hill, taking off at the traffic lights, trying to go faster than your friend next to you, they can handle that power a little bit better and deliver it to the road a little bit more efficiently. And in my opinion, I think they make the whole bike look a bit cooler too. The thing with carbon fiber wheels is they can range anywhere from about $1,000 to $4,000. So have a look at what's available when you're looking, and I think you'll be pretty happy with any upgrade. Now, although carbon fiber wheels are considered an awesome upgrade, there are a couple of downsides to them. They are a little bit more fragile than the typical aluminium wheel. If you were to hit a pothole, rather than them denting like an aluminium wheel, they can crack. And if the wheel cracks, that's the end of its life. But if you did want to know more about the difference between an aluminium wheel and a carbon fiber wheel, you can check out this video further back on our YouTube channel. The next thing that I'd buy for my bike is a new saddle. Now, the saddle is an incredibly important part of your bike because most of your body weight is sitting on it for the entire bike ride. We've got 5 main contact points of the bike. We've got our 2 feet, our 2 hands, and our bum. So we want to take care of each of those different spots. You want to get shoes that fit, you want to maybe get some comfortable gloves and that sort of thing, but the saddle is what holds most of your body weight. So I put most emphasis on that part there. The interesting thing with saddles is there are so many different shapes and sizes for different types of bodies or different types of riding styles. If you're a performance athlete, you might want to go for a really lightweight carbon fiber saddle that's really stiff because you're trying to put most of your body weight into your feet rather than your bum, if you can. Whereas if you're a bit more of a leisure rider and you only ride to the coffee shop or the ice cream shop on the weekends, a nice thick comfortable saddle is probably going to be the sort of thing that you'd be looking for. What you'll find throughout your research of trying saddles, testing out different saddles, what you'll find is the thickness is important, it's definitely a factor, but even more important than that, the width of the saddle is even more important. So you can get some that are quite wide to suit a wider pelvis and some that are a bit narrower to suit a narrow pelvis. You'll also find that the male pelvis and the female pelvis are different, so there's different saddles for different genders. I won't talk about it too much in this video, but if you did want to know more about how to choose the right saddle, you can watch this video further back in our channel. And the final thing that I'd buy for my bike is a power meter. Now, this doesn't need to be the first thing that you buy because this is going to be a pretty costly upgrade, similar to what the carbon fiber wheels were. If you're perhaps working your way up the ranks, you've been a beginner cyclist and then you became an intermediate enthusiast and now you're looking at getting into the racing scene, a power meter is probably going to be your Bible. You're going to end up working out what your power meter numbers are, and that will help with your training. You can structure your training a whole lot better. Power, to give you a very quick summary as to what power is, if we're riding along and we have our little GPS computer, which tells us how fast we're going, it might tell you your heart rate, your cadence, so how fast you're pedaling, the gradient, so how steep the hill is, it might tell you all these different things. They all have some variables. Your heart rate might be elevated because you had McDonald's last night or you drank some alcohol the night before perhaps. And speed, maybe you're going uphill versus downhill. There's some variables. Whereas with a power meter, which is a strain gauge, it's going to measure how much power your feet are actually putting in there. There's no variables in that. It is just simply how hard you are pressing on the pedals. So a power meter is a really common upgrade for the racing type of cyclist. This is a really cool upgrade, but it's not a necessity in the same way as maintaining your bike. So I do call it quite an upgrade on your bike. If you're unsure of whether you're the sort of person that actually needs a power meter, you might want to check out this video further back on our channel where we tried to decipher exactly that question. But to try and quickly sum up that video that we did, I pretty much said you might not need it unless you're really chasing the performance and getting into racing. And I've got a bonus one for you. Clip-in pedals. Clip-in pedals are probably the first upgrade that I think most cyclists put on their bike. You can ride along with just your standard flat pedals, your standard sneakers or your runners, and that will definitely do the job. But if you move across to the clip-in pedals, it's going to give you so much more control over the bike and a far more efficient pedal stroke. So I would recommend looking at some clip-in pedals. And if you're unsure about how to transition across to clip-in pedals, you can check out this video further back in our channel as well. Hopefully this gives you a bit of an idea as to the 5+1 things that I would buy for my bike after obviously buying the bike. If you reckon that there's anything that we've missed in this video that we should have mentioned that you've already bought, let us know in the comment section down below. If we have enough comments down there to give us enough extra ideas, we might even make a part 2. So make sure you subscribe so you see when that one comes out as well. Otherwise, I'm going to say thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video. See you guys.